The day we buried my parents, I lost more than just them. I lost my home. We had barely returned from the cemetery when my brother turned to me and said the words that changed everything. "You should start packing." At first, I thought I heard him wrong. "What?" He didn't even look at me, just loosened his tie and walked into the living room like we were discussing something ordinary. "This house is mine now," he said flatly. "You can't stay here." The grief I had been holding in all day suddenly froze inside me. "What do you mean, yours?" I asked, my voice barely steady. "It means exactly what I said," he replied, finally glancing at me. "I'm the eldest. Dad always said I'd take care of things." Take care of things. Funny way to say, take everything. I looked around the house, the same house I grew up in. The walls I painted. The kitchen I helped my mother clean every night. The room I had lived in my entire life. And suddenly, none of it was mine anymore. "You can't just throw me out," I said. He shrugged. "Watch me." That one sentence hit harder than anything else. Because there was no hesitation. No emotion. Just entitlement. "I have nowhere to go," I added, quieter now. He sighed, like I was the inconvenience. "That's not my problem." I stared at him, trying to find even a trace of the brother I used to know. The one who used to protect me. The one who used to call this our home. But he was gone. Replaced by someone I didn't recognize. Someone who saw me not as family, but as something standing in his way. "You've always depended on this house," he continued. "Maybe it's time you figure things out on your own." I felt something shift inside me. Not anger. Not yet. Just disbelief. Because this wasn't just about the house. This was about everything. Every sacrifice I made. Every time I stayed back while he chased his life. Every moment I was there for our parents when he wasn't. And now, I was being erased. Just like that. "Fine," I said finally. He looked surprised. Maybe he expected a fight. Begging. Something dramatic. But I had nothing left to give. Because losing your parents in the morning, and your home in the afternoon, does something to you. It empties you. I went to my room and started packing. Slowly, quietly. Folding pieces of a life that no longer existed. He didn't help. Didn't even check. By evening, I was standing at the front door with a single suitcase. I looked back one last time. Not because I wanted to stay, but because I needed to remember this moment. The moment I realized family doesn't always mean loyalty. Sometimes it just means shared history. Nothing more. As I stepped outside, my brother called out behind me. "Oh, and don't bother coming back after the will reading tomorrow." I paused. Slowly turned around. "The will?" I asked. He smirked. "Yeah, might as well hear it officially. You're getting nothing." For a second, I just looked at him. Then nodded. "Okay," I said quietly. And I left. But what he didn't know was that the will reading was about to reveal something neither of us expected. And by the end of it, everything he thought he owned was about to slip right out of his hands. The next morning felt unreal. I barely slept. Not because I was thinking about the house, but because of how easily my brother erased me from it. Still, I showed up at the lawyer's office. Not to fight. Not to hope. Just to hear the truth, officially. My brother was already there. Sitting comfortably, like everything had already been decided. He glanced at me and smirked. Didn't I tell you not to bother coming? I ignored him and took a seat across the room. Because for the first time, his words didn't control me. The lawyer walked in a few minutes later, holding a file. Calm, professional. But something about his expression felt different. Serious. Thank you both for coming, he said, sitting down. My brother leaned back confidently. Let's just get this over with, he said. We all know what's in there. The lawyer didn't respond immediately. Instead, he opened the file slowly. Carefully. Like every page mattered. This is the last will and testament of your parents, he began. The room went silent. Even my brother stopped talking. At first glance, the lawyer continued, it may seem straightforward. My brother smirked again. Of course it does, I thought. He already convinced himself he had everything. But, the lawyer added, looking directly at him, there are conditions. That word changed the air instantly. My brother frowned. What kind of conditions? The lawyer turned a page. Your parents made it very clear that the house and the majority of their assets. He paused. Just long enough to make my brother lean forward. Were not to be given based on age or entitlement. The smirk disappeared. But on responsibility. Silence. Real silence. My heart started beating faster. Not out of hope. But curiosity. Because this didn't sound like what my brother expected. The lawyer continued. They documented who contributed to their care in their final years. My brother shifted in his seat. Subtly. But I noticed. They recorded financial support, time spent, medical assistance, and daily involvement. Now the room felt heavy. Because suddenly, this wasn't about who was older. It was about who was there. And deep down, we both knew the truth. The lawyer closed the file halfway, then looked up. What I'm about to read next, he said calmly, will determine who legally owns the house. My brother sat up straight. Tense now. No confidence. No smirk. Just uncertainty. And for the first time since yesterday, I felt something shift. Because the story he thought was already over was only just beginning. The house, the lawyer said calmly, will go to the child who was present, consistent, and responsible in their care. He looked down at the file. Based on documented evidence, that is you. I froze. My brother didn't. What? He snapped, shooting to his feet. That's not possible. I'm the eldest. The lawyer didn't react. Age was not the deciding factor, he replied. Actions were. Silence. Heavy, crushing silence. You were rarely present, he continued, while your sibling handled hospital visits, bills, and daily care. My brother's face drained of color. He looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time. But it was too late. You can't do this, he shouted. I didn't, the lawyer said. Your parents did. The room went still again. Everything he thought he owned. Gone. Just like that. I stood up slowly. No anger. No pride. Just quiet certainty. I'll be moving back in, I said. He didn't reply. Didn't argue. Because for once, there was nothing he could say. As I walked out, one truth stayed with me. He took the house from me when they were gone. But they gave it back. Because I never left them when it mattered most.